Hey, good morning guys. We got to start with writing some equations for this little set of problems. So horizontal translation, vertical translation, how does it change your graph? How does it change it? Whenever you have horizontal, horizontal is what moves things left or right. Vertical changes it up, down. If you have the same equation to start with, what would this look like? Let's say we had y equals, how about x plus 2? Let's say that's the same equation for both of these. Now, if we want to change it 3 units for a horizontal translation, let's say we're going to move it 3 units over, that change has to occur here. So for a horizontal look, it has to be inside these parentheses. That's what changes it left or right. It's inside here. If we're going to move it 3 units for a vertical translation, moving it up, down, there is no parentheses to work with there. It's all on the outside. We would have to change and add 3 out there. So shifting it left, right, it's inside the parentheses. If we're going to shift it up, down, we have to add it on the outside. So writing these equations is what we got to do for these examples today. All right. Let's do a few of these, get this thing rolling. So how this is going to look on your homework, let's see here, we'll call that number 1, let's call this 2, is they're going to give you a function to start with, like f of x is equal to x minus 7. Let's just say they start you with that. And then they give you directions to follow. Let's say we translate it 2 units, let's go up, let's make it vertical. So you have to read the directions, 2 units up, and decide what's that mean. Okay, I got a 2 and I got up. So going up, down, going 2 spots, all this stays the same, it's plus 2 over here. This is definitely going to be a vertical translation, it's going up. So on my equation that I started with, I have x minus 7. I'm going to add 2. If it's vertical going up, do I add some parentheses and put it in there? Or do I put the 2 units up on the outside? This 2 definitely goes on the outside if it's vertical. So that means our equation is about to change, because now I've got this negative 7 and that positive 2, combine them together, and this is my new equation, x minus 5. This is what they're wanting you to do on these problems. Start with this, run the translation, end up with the new equation. That's what you're being asked to do. So you just got to decide what this does to your problem, and then you do a little math to get your equation for your answer. All right, let's write another one. Let's go the other direction. Let's do a horizontal one. Let's say we had g of x is equal to like x plus 10. And we're going to translate 3 units left. All right, directions this time, translate 3 units left. So left, right means horizontal translation. Be careful. The horizontal is always the opposite meaning. So when it says 3 units left, left, you think, oh, I'm going back this direction to the left, it's got to be a negative 3. Horizontal is always the opposite meaning, the opposite sign. So if it says 3 units left, you're going to actually put that down as plus 3. So here's my original equation. G of x is equal to x plus 10. This plus 3 for horizontal, you've got to write it in with some parentheses. So if it was vertical, it's out on the end. If it's horizontal, get you some parentheses, get it in there. So that's how it looks for a horizontal. Horizontal, change your sign. Vertical, keep the sign the same. Do a little math, clean this guy up. There's no square, there's no absolute value. We can just drop the parentheses on this. And we've got 3 and 10. x plus 13. So where do we put it in? What sign do we use? Do the math, get your new equation. That's what you're being asked to do on these problems. All right, let's do one more. Let's do an absolute value graph. We haven't done one of those. All right, one more. Absolute value graph. So get those absolute value bars. Let's do something huge. How about 5x plus 2 plus 8? So we've got this absolute value graph. Let's get some directions over here. All right, we've gone up, we've gone left, right. Let's do an up, down one again. How about 4 units down? 4 units down. So they give you the equation to start with. They give you directions. You got to figure out what you do with the 4. If it's up, down, you just whatever sign it is, that's what you roll with. If it was up, it would be positive 4. If it's going down, negative 4. So think about the negative 4, where it goes on your new equation. Okay, it's going up, down, it's a vertical. So do you put your minus 4, does he go in here with the x, or does he go on the outside? Since it's an up, down, it's vertical, your minus 4 rolls out here on the outside. All right, let's do it. Absolute value, 5x plus 2. Out here we have the 8 and the 4. 8 minus 4 turns out to give you 4. And now you have your final answer. You have absolute value. You have a positive 4 on the outside. So you've taken the start with equation. You figured out what kind of 4 you're going to use. You put it in there, you did some math, and you got your new equation. All right, so these are the problems on this little set. There's not many of these. I think there's only 4 of them. But this should get you a good feel for how to knock those out. All right, so it's the beginning of the next section. We're on page 22. It's just problems 3, 4, 5, and 6. And those examples will help you write those new equations.